We will be going over the guides and tips to online dating. If you are watching this live or if you're watching the replay, if you have questions and you're watching this in the replay, please put replay and put your question. I will try to answer it to the best of my ability at the beginning of tomorrow's session. This is scheduled to be a 3-day course, and if questions come where I need to, add something to the 3 days, I would do that. If we get through the material faster than anticipated, we'll just cut a day off or add a day on as necessary. If you would like to ask a question and you want to remain anonymous, you feel free to send me the question in my inbox, and I will answer it, like I said, the following day. We will be going over, first of all, I have papers all over the place because I wanted to take notes and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything from what I was that I'm giving to you. So I hope I am recording because I got a message saying something about my low network connection or something like that. But anyway, if not, I'm getting a heck of a practice for when I do go live. So anyway, we will be going over exactly everything you need to know about online dating to start. We'll be talking about knowing yourself, knowing your intent, the purpose of online dating, writing your dating profile, deciphering profiles, profile pictures, trusting your intuition. We'll be talking about the safety of face-to-face meeting and answering all the questions that you may have in between and in the meantime from that. Now, if you see me looking down, it's because I actually wrote a mini ebook, your mini guide to online dating, which is where I'll be taking notes from. And so forgive me if I look down, but like I said, I got a lot of notes I need to look at to make sure I don't forget anything or I don't leave anything out. So to start, with that being said, this course is for anybody who is considering online dating. I know sometimes there's a little bit of apprehension behind it or whatever, and you may feel like there's a little bit of embarrassment about online dating. I'm going to give you some stats later. I want you to realize no need to be embarrassed about it. I am a proponent of online dating. I have used online dating. I have been successful, I feel, so far with online dating. It actually has something for everyone. I think the biggest issue that I run into from people is that they feel as if online daters have all these mass murderers. These people are going to come and track me down. They're going to, kill me or whatever, kidnap me. And I just want to say that the people who sign up for online dating sites are the exact same people who are in this world. It's not like they got someone from crazy ranium and they're the only ones who put profiles up on dating sites. These people come from this world that we're in. So the same people you encounter online are the same people you encounter in the grocery stores and wherever else you meet people traditionally. Okay. I want to tell you, first of all, about some of the sites I know. Like I said, I'm reading from notes because although I'm a proponent of online dating, I have used it. I don't know every single thing about it, but I do know how to maneuver through it. So first, we're going to start with some of the popular sites just to, give you a sampling of what's out there. There's something out there for everybody. Okay. And I'm going to talk about free and paid sites a little bit later, but Tinder, there's Tinder. I think that's probably one of the most popular ones now. I think a lot of young people use it. And as a matter of fact, older people are actually getting into Tinder as well. It's a free site, easy to set up, and it's basically the concept of you see a picture and you swipe right if you like the person or you're interested in the person. And if I'm not mistaken, the person has to show interest in you as well before you can communicate. And there's another site called Bumble. Bumble is the same as Tinder. It's free and everything, but this is the women have to initiate conversation, which is kind of a different concept. And the thing is, they have to initiate conversation within the first 24 hours. I don't know if it's just it goes away or whatever happens, but that's Bumble. Match.com claims to be the most that gives out the most marriages. I won't say give out, the ones that the cause of most marriages. Millions of people are on there. They have millions of members. eHarmony uses a scientific approach using your character, your intellect, and your values to kind of match you up. You have Tag, which is a free site. is, you know, a profile site as well, where you have to put in a profile. Some sites allow you to put in your profile. Some sites, I guess, it's mostly your interest, and they kind of build your profile from the questions that you answer. There's Black People Meet. Black People Meet, from what I understand, was created, I think it's through up under Match.com, but what happened is there's it's an inequality as far as matches for African Americans, so they created Black People Meet for a site for Black singles where they can African American singles can match and meet each other. Not saying that there are only Black people or African American people on Black People Meet, because there are other ethnicities that are on there as well. It's just your interest is dating a person of African American descent. There's OkCupid, matched through a gigantic list of questions. Plenty of Fish, a free site to me. Plenty of Fish is kind of like the Craigslist of dating sites. There's Christian Mingle for the Christian. For the Christian people, for people who say they're Christian, and you know, you still have to be wary because people can not be so honest about different things. So with that being said, to show you that there is something for everyone, the first part, one of the most important, I think, steps in online dating, determining whether or not you want to be online dating, is to know yourself. If you're out there, please say something in the comments, because I can't see you. I just, you know, I see stuff floating, but I can't see who it is. If you want to speak or whatever, I can acknowledge you as well. Anyway, know yourself. Like I said, it's your most important step before you dive into it. You need to know your temperament. You need to know your beliefs. You need to know whether or not you're your propensities, what you have a tendency to be like. Are you really jealous? Are you easily overwhelmed? Hey, Adaria, how you doing? Are you easily overwhelmed? Are you jealous? Do you listen to your intuition? You need to know who you are. And let me tell you, it goes with you have to go in with a basic understanding of how you operate. I want to give you some statistics, because I want you to realize what you're dealing with when you go online. Okay, now this is according to Statistic Brain Research Institute, and this is as recent as May of last year. There are 54+ million singles in the United States. Okay, and this also for the people who are out there thinking they're by themselves, that has that little tendency to be a little bit embarrassed about online dating. 54 million people, and of those 54 million people, 49.6 million people have admitted to using online dating sites. Now, this is singles. There are some people who are a little less honest, who are not 100% single. They could be in some type of relationship. It can even be married people. But of all these people, there are millions of people. You are not by yourself if you decide that online dating is something that you're interested in and you want to do. No need to be ashamed about it. No need to be wary about it. Like I said, the same people who are in the grocery stores are the same people who are online, who are putting their profiles out on online. Another thing about online dating, and like I said, I'm a proponent of it because I've used it and I've been successful. I feel as if I've been successful with it. A good thing, the average length of courtship for marriages that met online is 18.5 months. So that means from the point of meeting, the courtship to marriage, that is 18.5 month average. Now, the average length of courtship for marriage met offline is 42 months. I think that's 3 years and 6 months or something like that. So what the statistics are saying, according to the statistics, when you meet your love partner online, you have a shorter courtship before you go into marriage, and that's not a there's also I can't remember who it's from. I think it's from the University of Chicago, that says that people who meet online and marry is less likely to break up within that first year. I don't know what that means, but you know, that's a stat for you. Online males, the percentage of males that's online is 52.4% compared to 47.6% for women. So women, you know, there's a lot of, you know, more men online than females. So there you go. And it says 17% of marriages in the last year, which a couple met online. 17% of married. Okay, so last year, 17% of people who got married met online. So it works. It works. You just have to be very, very cautious. You have to be aware, and you have to know who you are. That's why I say you have to know yourself, know who you are, because you're going to be going into a mix of so many different people, so many different personalities. And if you are not, if you don't have a sense of discernment, even a small sense of discernment, you can get lost into this, and it can become a very, very bad experience for you. So go in with a basic understanding of how you operate. Let's see. Like I said, I'm using my notes, so you'll have to, I said, one of the things about knowing yourself, do you have a tendency to kind of move a little fast on dates? You have to know that as well, because I'm going to tell you, I was telling you the difference. I was going to tell you about free sites and paid sites. Free sites, anybody can come on, right? Paid sites, you have to put forth a little bit of an effort. So not saying that you're not going to get crazy people. Thanks, Ashley. How you doing? Not saying you're not going to get crazy people on paid sites, but you have to think that's an extra step for a crazy person to take to get on those paid sites. Free sites, anything goes and anybody can get on them. That's why I think there's a difference between free and paid sites. Personally, I would say stick with paid sites. Now there are some free, like I said, you may be lucky with some free sites. Go for it, but as long as you are aware and careful, you'll be okay. But let me tell you about knowing yourself. A lot of people say, when I said, do you move too fast in initial stages? Some of the ugly statistics of online dating: 33% of women have sex on the first online dating encounter. I'm just telling you. And 10% of sex offenders use online dating to meet people. But that also means 90% don't. So you still have a bigger chance of meeting a sex offender offline. And there's also, with that 33% of women who sleeping on the first date, there's a spike in STDs on those free sites. They come from their free sites. As a matter of fact, they noted Tinder as being one of the heavy hitters for the high hookup type of site. Okay, so just want to put that out there. Know who you are, know how you operate. Now I would say, okay, people, if you come in, please let me know who you are and speak, so I can kind of say hey to you. What I would say is pray for guidance. Let me see. Daria says, I'm open to online dating but would never make it successfully. I love chatting, but when it comes down to real deal and it's time to meet, I would start to chicken out. The excuses would start flying. Okay, I can't see the rest of it, Daria, but I know what you're saying. But let me tell you, I'm going to talk about being safe on the first meet. There is the risk is as much as you make it. You just have to be very careful in how you operate. It's the same way as meeting somebody at a club, meeting somebody in the grocery store. You have to use common sense rules. But we're going to get into that, because let me tell you, one thing about online dating, when you start talking to an individual, it gives you that false sense of familiar. And when you have that false sense of familiar, you also have that tendency to move a little faster than you would normally do offline, which is probably why the courtship time span is shorter for people who meet online. But we're going to come back to that. I say pray for guidance, awareness, and recognition for the one who may be for you, and to disconnect you from any foolishness. I believe in prayer, and I believe that it definitely works, and even works in online dating. So definitely pray for that. Pray for for intuition and awareness to recognize, let's see, open hearts, minds to recognize our potential soulmates without us standing in our own way with our lists. And I want to talk about the list for a minute. A lot of us, I know we all have these lists of what we want our perfect mate to look like. And that is totally fine. However, I do want to say this. When the Bible says you should be equally yoked, that is serious. And even when it comes down to making your list, equally yoked is very, very important. I'm not saying that you should settle for anything. You should not. But when the list consists of visual and materialistic things, you should consider this. Okay, think about this. You're female, and your standard guy on your list, he has to be 6'4", he has to be fit, he has to have a 6-7 figure income, right? However, you are overweight, don't have a job. You know, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you should settle at all. What I'm saying is you be realistic in the list that you create for someone else. At least make sure that you are meeting those same expectations. And the same goes for guys. If you are a guy, what is considered equally yoked? Equally yoked to me is where you can meet together and grow at the same space. You're in the same space. It's not just physically, it's also mentally. It's I consider it to be spiritually, where it's just where you are in agreement on the most basic of things. Okay. The example I gave was physical, because that is where the list is crazy. It's where you start judging a person on what they look like, and it has nothing to do with looks. I'm not saying that you have to settle for somebody you got to put a paper bag on to look at. Okay. I hope that explains it, Adaria. I'm not saying you have to settle for somebody you have to turn the lights out to look at, but I'm saying be realistic in your lists. Don't settle, but be realistic in your list, and at least make sure that you live up to that expectation that you're placing on somebody else. Okay? Next, I also say use affirmations as needed, because like I said, you're going to be meeting these millions of people. Like what I give you, 49 million people online. You're going to be meeting all these different people, and everybody is not nice. Some people will say the wrong things, and you have to have a little bit of a tougher skin in case you encounter that. I never encountered that. I don't remember encountering people just being mean like that, but there are people who, you know, are not nice. I'll put it like that. So you have to know that you are enough, and that the person who is perfect for you, you are going to be perfect for. You don't have to settle for craziness. And when I say settle for that, I'm saying never settle for the way a person should treat you. Okay? The purpose of online dating. A lot of people get confused with when they come online, and there's so many people online, and they're hit with all this attention, and you start talking with an individual and you automatically confuse contact with commitment. No. Until there's a verbal agreement that both people have agreed on, you are still dating people. You're still, and that's the way it should be, because a dating site is for you to meet different people to see how you get along. And I'm not saying sleep with, I'm saying date. That means get to know, meet, figure out, you know, the compatibility and that type of thing. I'm not saying sleep with, but meet. Until you meet that person. If you are that type of person. Some people don't like dating more than one person at a time. That's totally fine as well. But don't confuse contact with commitment. Okay? Number 2, knowing your intent. Hey, D. Knowing your intent. And that the biggest mistake is not making your intentions clear. Sometimes we, in order to feel cool or make sure we don't scare away potential mates or whatnot, we have a tendency to soften our profile, the stuff that we put on our profile. But your intention, even if you don't want to put everything in black and white on your profile, you know your intention, so that you know if you're not looking for friends, don't go on saying I'm looking for friends. It's a dating site, right? So if you're looking for friends, it's fine to look for friends on dating sites, but if you know that is not your intent, don't put that as it, because that is the result you're going to get. So the question is, do you really want another friend? Or are you looking for a committed relationship that leads to marriage? Or are you just looking for a relationship where you just get to meet a whole bunch of different people that has nothing, and then there's the hookup. Do you want the hookup? I mean, there's different levels of intent with online dating. Just make sure that you are aware of what yours is, and make sure that you make that clear in your profile. Okay, so I'm not going to just tell you that and not give you a couple of samples of what that sounds like. So, and like I said, I'm looking from my ebook, my mini ebook that I wrote. So I'm reading from that. Okay, so say your intent is a committed relationship with marriage as your destination. So instead of saying, yeah, I want to get married, which probably, it is kind of forward, and you may, like I said, you may feel like you're scaring somebody away. But instead of putting it like that, you can say something to the effect of, although I value marriage, I also know there are important steps to get to that point, and I'm willing to start at the beginning. That lets anybody who reads your profile know that I'm willing to go through the process, but marriage is my goal, right? Okay. So say your intent is a committed relationship with marriage as an open option, right? So you can say something to the effect of, I love the idea of a committed, exclusive relationship. That's saying you want a committed relationship. It has not mentioned anything about marriage. It lets your intention be known. Okay? Now, if you're looking for friendship, there's also a way to go about saying that. You can say, I can enjoy most activities. I believe the people I'm sharing the experience with makes it more enjoyable. I would love to have you share some of these experiences with me. I'm looking for friends. It's simple. You're not confusing. Even though you're not just saying, I'm looking for friends, that statement kind of let a person know what your intent is. If you're looking for the hookup, I'm going to give you a statement for the hookup. If you're looking for a hookup, you can put, I'm open for all levels of friendship. That I'm down for whatever, right? See, there you go. But what it is, the important part is letting your intent be known with yourself and with anybody who's reading your profile. Okay, let's see. We're going to move on to how to write your online profile. Now we're going kind of good. I'm hoping this is going to be, we can, we get to where we're going. I didn't want this to be too long, so we're going at a decent rate right now. If you have any questions, please ask your questions. I will answer your questions the best of my knowledge. If you want to be anonymous, like I said at the beginning, you can always inbox me after this broadcast, and I will address your question tomorrow on the session for tomorrow. If you want to remain anonymous, otherwise you can ask your question in the room, and I answer it now. So where are we at? Knowing the purpose of dating. I told you about the purpose of dating, the commitments. That contact is not commitment. Know your intent, making sure you state your intent clear and not try to avoid scaring away potentials. Be honest with and authentic with who you are and knowing your content. I gave you some sample words on what you can say to express your content. Okay, let's see. Your online profile. Okay, speaking of being honest with your intent, 53% of online daters lie on their profile. That's over half of the people. That's over half of the people who's online dating, they're lying on their profile. Okay, so let's get with that. How to write your online profile. Some sites allow you to write your own profile in whole or in part. Some sites don't even require you to have a profile. Some ask you questions and they build your profile themselves. And some, like I say, you just swipe left or you swipe right, and that is what it is. So in your profile, you need to tell an individual enough about you to see interest, to make sure that their interest is sparked. Okay. That does not mean you tell your whole story. You don't talk about your baby daddy if you got one. You don't talk about your crazy ex if you have one. You don't talk about how you don't trust people, or you just give them enough information about yourself to spark their interest. You provide enough of a picture to know who you are, not your whole life story. You can't, you have to paint a picture with words. The picture that you paint it with words, and don't tell your whole life story in a profile. You want just enough to spark the interest and to see if there's some form of compatibility. Okay. It says a sneak peek at the essence of who you are. You do not want to falsely represent yourself. That's that 53% of folks who's out here lying. Let me tell y'all something. The people who are lying, I want to tell you what they lie about. Most men and women lie about. Men mostly lie about. Anybody can guess what men mostly lie about? while I'm rambling through my papers. Anybody want to guess what men mostly lie about? And get ready to answer for women as well. And I'm going to tell you what they do. Nobody's guessing. Men most lie about their age, their height, and their income. And marriage. That is a good guess, because I'm telling you, it's not just single folks on online dating. That 49 million who try online dating, all of them may or may not be single. I'm speaking from experience here. I have witnessed a lot using online dating as a way of meeting people. For women most lie about, anybody want to guess what women most lie about? Women most lie about their weight, their physical build, and their age. Yeah. We have a tendency, yep, age and occupations. Yep, the age is there, but occupation was, nope, weight, physical, build, and age were for women, what they most lie about, which is, really crazy. You do not want to falsely represent yourself. And I'm going to tell you a story that I was told by someone who was dating online. This individual was online dating, and they were talking to this female. And this female and this individual hit it off really, really, really great. She described herself, and the person she was talking to described themselves, right? So when it came time to meet, after talking extensively for a while over the phone, it was time to meet, and they were supposed to meet up in this space. And the person who was waiting for the female to arrive at the space was waiting in the car, because once you go online, you kind of know, you want to be really cautious about what you're doing. And the person who was telling me the story was feeling some type of apprehension about the whole meetup thing. So they were meeting in a public space, which is right. But the person who came out of the car, who said that they were, who described the car they were coming out in, was totally different from the description, totally different from the pictures. The pictures was of a shapely young lady, and the person who got in the car was very much so overweight, totally different face. The person who they were meeting saw them, and instead of making the meet, they backed out of the date, right? Now, that sounds harsh. That sounds very harsh. But you have to also understand that while you are connecting with a person and you're making up your profile and your profile pictures and all this type of thing, talking about, something that you're not, and then when you eventually meet, there's not that much connection in the world that will overrule a lie and meeting someone who you're not attracted to. The best thing to do is to always come in authentic and being true to yourself, because the thing is this. Oh yeah, someone got seriously catfished. And even with me, when I was dating online, when I was online dating, there was a few occasions where a person would describe themselves as a certain way, and when we met, it was a little bit different. Now, I'm not a big, I'm not all about looks. I'm not all about what you look like. I'm all about your personality, your intellect. Can you make me laugh? And are you honest? And even if people had been more honest, they don't understand how much of a better chance they have of connecting with someone than the lies that they tell. My thought process on this whole thing is this. I would rather for you to know who I am and not waste my time and not hurt my feelings than for me to go in and lie about it and then make a connection and then be disappointed in someone you've gotten attached to. So please be honest when you write your profile. I'm going to come back on. I wanted this. Okay, this is almost perfect timing right now. This is a half hour. Tomorrow I'm going to come back on and we're going to talk about how to decipher other people's profile pictures, how to select the pictures you use on your website. We're going to talk about trusting your intuition, how to be safe on your initial meetings and everything that comes along with that. What do each picture mean? The way you set your picture up. What do certain statements on certain profiles mean when a person says it? And what you need to make sure you don't do, because the same thing that you read into someone else, someone can read into yours. So on your, like I said, on your profiles, make sure you check your spelling and your grammar. I understand everybody are not English majors or whatever, but minimize your grammatical errors if possible. When you write about your experiences, or when you write about who you are, write about experiences instead of cold facts. Okay, so let me give you an example. So most people would think to write, I love romantic walks, I love good conversations, I love long walks on sunny days, blah, blah, blah. Who don't? That doesn't tell anybody anything about you. That is a very genetic. Everybody will say that. Everybody says that. How do you stand out from that regular, everyday, common sense that everybody like type statement? So I have a sample here. So how much nicer would it be to hear this? I want to find the one who can mentally stimulate me while holding hands on a nice walk. That covers every single thing I said before. The romantic walks, good conversations, sunny days, all of it is covered in that one statement, and it speaks more on experiences instead of just the cold hard genetic facts that everybody, that's obvious for everybody. So we're going to, we want to make sure that your profile, if you are interested in pursuing online dating as an option to meet your mate, I am here to help you. I am here to help you. During this course, during this right here today, and I come on tomorrow to do part 2. If you want to write your profile and give me samples during the course tomorrow, I will be more than happy to help you. I would do it right on the spot here. If you want to go in depth, I also offer that as a service. It's not a major investment, but it's an investment nonetheless, because it is time saved. That I can help you with your profile, help you write your profile, select the right pictures, even offer email support that helps you recognize the red flags, which we will be talking about tomorrow. Checking your grammar, going over, make sure everything is spelled right. That's a pet peeve of mine. I have to. Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. Also, if you decide you want to write a profile that you want to put up to see if that we can go over tomorrow, if you don't mind sharing it, before you do it, ask a friend to proofread it for you to see if that what they're reading is an accurate picture of who you are, right? And we will go over it tomorrow in part 2. If you are shy, you can always inbox me, and you will forever remain anonymous. Like I said, if you would like to work on me one-on-one with developing your profile and selecting your pictures, I am available for that. Just inbox me with that, and I will be able to help you with it. If you want your profile looked at during this course, simply inbox me saying, course study or whatever, so I can know that it's related to the course, and I can bring it up tomorrow when I address, the broadcast tomorrow. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask. That you don't mind being answered here in the room. I will give you a couple of seconds of that while I look through these notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. And what I want to tell you on day 1 of the guides and tips to online dating. Again, like I said, I am a big proponent of online dating. I have found success with it. I have found I have a lot of interesting stories. The worst that happened is I learned some lessons. The middle ground was I made some cool friends. And the best, as I actually have a relationship from an online dating experience. So that is to be continued tomorrow. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. And I will be back here. Really? I get a frowny face for saying that. Anyway, All right, there you go. I will be back on here tomorrow. Please put your questions out or inbox me your questions if you like. You can put your questions below this video. I will come back and answer them tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be doing a quick review of what we kind of talked about today. Let's see what else we'll be talking into. We will also be talking about. We will edit your profile. We'll answer your questions. We'll start part 2, which will include trusting your intuition, deciphering other profiles. This is, if you don't come for anything else, come for that, deciphering other profiles to determine the red flags and other clues to who they are. And also know that the clues that you get from somebody else are the same clues they can get from yours. So when you write your profile, be cautious of that as well. How to watch for and avoid online scams. I know everybody have seen all the stuff that comes on with people who are getting taken. I was reading somewhere where a lady in the UK was taken for over 50,000 pounds. Now that is equivalent to almost 100,000 US dollars. OMG. OMG. Also, we'll be talking about your profile pictures and what they say about you. Thank you so much for joining. Join me here tomorrow, same time, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, where we will start part 2 of the guiding tips to online dating, because I want you to be safe. I want you to find the love of your life, but I want you to be safe, and I want you to be well prepared when you go out there. I'll talk to you guys later, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.